Well, I thank the gentleman for yielding. The COVID pandemic has changed almost every aspect of American life. While it may be difficult to measure at this stage, we know the impact on the mental health of Americans across the country is significant, and it's alarming. In the age of technology and instant gratification, more and more people were already feeling less connected. But once the pandemic struck, the negative effects of isolation and uncertainty were only compounded into a sense of hopelessness nationwide. If you don't have hope, you have very little reason to follow a moral code or to fear the results of your actions. Hopelessness and desperation can be a dangerous trigger, and it can lead to acts of violence. Unfortunately, victims of violence are often caught in a vicious cycle of violence. As one of the main risk factors for violent injury is a previous violent injury. My colleague, Congressman Ruppersberger, and I introduced legislation to try and put a stop to this horrific cycle of violence, the Bipartisan Solution to Cyclical Violence Act. Our legislation establishes a grant program at the Department of Health and Human Services to award grants to existing and aspiring violence intervention programs. These programs intervene while a victim is still in the hospital recovering from their injuries and provides a wide range of services like counseling, substance abuse treatment, job training, or even assistance finding affordable housing. And it doesn't stop when the victim walks out of the hospital. The intervention continues for several months and sometimes even up to a year following the initial incident. The successes of these programs have been astounding. At the University of Maryland Medical System, participants showed an 83% decrease in rehospitalization due to intentional violent injury and a 75% reduction in criminal activity and an 82% increase in employment. These programs really work. By supporting victims with the resources and education to pursue a different path, we can stop the vicious cycle of violence and give people hope for a better tomorrow. It's more important than ever that we work together to help and heal those who are struggling. I remain committed to finding common sense and bipartisan solutions to problems facing our country. And the Bipartisan Solution to Cyclical Violence Act is a perfect example of how we can work together to enact policies that will have real and lasting impact in our communities. I want to thank Dutch Congressman Ruppersberger for working with me on this important bipartisan legislation, to the chairman and to the ranking member for bringing this up and your help. And with that, I'll yield back.